Hello coffee farmers and aspiring coffee growers. Welcome back to the Githua's coffee farm, where we make coffee farming practical, profitable and real. Have you subscribed to the channel? Kindly do so, because your subscription will take us places and we shall grow together. So the month of March, it's very critical period in coffee management, and what you do now will determine the yield and health of your coffee crop later in the season. In today's video, we shall be discussing the key management practices in March as we look at how to properly scout your farm, how also to identify early signs of pests and diseases, and also the importance of effective weed control. Also, we shall be looking at what you should do when your coffee starts flowering. Remember, good coffee yields are not an accident. They are the result of proper timing and good farm management practices. So stay tuned as we break down these important steps that will help you grow healthy coffee trees and achieve higher production. I'm walking around, I'm doing scouting in the farm, and it's also good to know why should you scout. So what do I mean by scouting? Scouting a coffee farm is the practice of walking and also walking through the fields to monitor the health of the trees. In so doing, you'll have checked for the pests and diseases, and still you'll have looked at the nutritional needs and also assess the overall farm condition. Scouting is a very critical and proactive management strategy that transforms potential disasters into manageable, high quality and profitable harvests. So let's look at the importance of scouting a coffee farm. And one is that it helps in early detection of pests and diseases. Especially in this month of March, it's good to know that pests and diseases really affect the coffee plant. So you will be able to prevent outbreaks through regular monitoring. So it's good to do at least 2 to 3 times a week, which allows you as a farmer to identify the pests like coffee berry borer, or like the thrips, or maybe the aphids. And you'll be able to have identified diseases such as coffee berry disease or leaf rust before they become uncontrollable. Protecting yield and also early identification stops the pests and diseases spread, preventing the significant damage to berries and also foliage. It's good through the scouting. You'll have also observed the hidden pests. It allows to check the hidden places, such as the undersides of leaves, or maybe the inside of the coffee cherry, where pests often do what? Hide. The other importance of doing scouting is that the cost, it will also help in cost effective and target chemical use. So it reduces cost. Therefore, scouting helps identify specific areas needing treatment rather than the blanket spraying the entire farm, which saves on pesticide and herbicide costs. So in so doing, you'll be able also to prevent misuse, and also it prevents the application of the wrong chemicals. Another thing is that you'll be able to also do the nutrient and water management, whereby in case you see some conditions in a tree, you'll be able to have monitored the stress, and this allows you as a farmer to be able to check the soil moisture levels and ensure that the trees are not under waterlogged stress, especially in this month. So improving crop quality, yield, which enhance quality, it's also another importance why you should do early scouting, whereby the early management of diseases and nutrient deficiency, it will ensure that the coffee cherries mature properly, leading to higher quality market standard. So also you'll be able to have a data-driven decision making and also record keeping. Once you do scouting in your farm, it will be now a long-term strategy whereby you do a proper and regular recording of observations that you have done in your farm. So it's good to be able also to do scouting in your farm, and in so doing you'll also be able to do farm hygiene and maintenance, whereby as I'm walking around I always uproot some weeds that I can see. Therefore you'll also be able to monitor the so-called weeds that are in the farm. So monitoring helps identify the crop weeds that compete with the coffee for nutrients. So it allows for the inspection of also mulch that you have added in your coffee. So there are some key tips for effective coffee scouting. At times we do the W pattern. Don't just walk the edges, move in a W or maybe a Z pattern to get a representative sample of the entire farm. Don't just go straight into the farm, just walk in a zigzag way so that at least you can be able to identify maybe some of the causes or maybe some of the pests and have the samples there with you. So crop scouting is very important and is a core pillar of good agricultural practice. So have you done scouting in your farm in this month? It's very important. So let's continue also learning something more about the coffee management practice, and it's about pests and disease control. So in the month of March, it's good to realize that it's really raining, or it's good to know that it is really raining. Therefore, you need to have a good copper-based fungicide that will be able to sustain the heavy rains. So I would recommend red copper, which is a critical and high concentration copper-based fungicide and nutrient used in coffee farming. It is particularly sprayed during the rainy seasons to prevent the devastating fungal diseases and enhance plant health. It is highly valued for its strong adhesive properties and also the ability to provide long-term protection against coffee berry diseases, or the CBD, and also the coffee leaf rust, CLR. The key roles and importance of the red copper during the March month is that there is fungal disease control, which is a preventive. So red copper is primarily used to prevent copper or coffee berry diseases, CBD, and also coffee leaf rust, CLR. So red copper works by creating a preventive barrier on the leaf surfaces that prevents spoiling the spores from germinating. So in a coffee, I've not yet done the spraying, but anytime I'll do the spraying of the red copper. So it is important. It's ideal for rainy seasons because of its formulation. It is particularly effective during the heavy or maybe the cold rains. Therefore, that's why you can see the flowering around, because it's raining. It's really raining. So as it resists being washed away, it provides sustainable protection or maybe the so-called toxic effect. And also it helps beyond that, and also it helps growth. So beyond acting as a fungicide, red copper also provides the tonic effect of coffee leaves, enhancing their color, and also it strengthens and also the overall uprightness or the so-called vitality. So correction of copper deficiency, it acts as a source of copper, whereby there is the so-called the micronutrients that improves photosynthesis and also lignin production, which strengthens cell walls. So red copper also helps in protection of pruning scars. It is applied to prune branches to also be able to sterilize all unhealed scars and prevent infections from entering the plant. So application of, or maybe the usage guidelines of red copper. It is commonly applied as a foliar spray, and it is best used during the early stages of berry formation, that is now, and during the rainy season. It is often used in rotation with other fungicides like green and also blue copper to manage resistance. So you should be cautious. It's good to be cautious because consistent use can cause high copper accumulation in the soil, whereby it alternates the other types of fungicide. So there are quite a number of differences between red copper, because red copper is strong. It has a strong adhesion, which is ideal for high rain periods, and green copper is recommended for long period protection. Blue copper is used, it releases copper ions faster, often used against bacterial infection. So that is the thing that you're supposed to do during this month pertaining application of copper to prevent what? Coffee berry disease and coffee leaf rust, CLR. Now, I believe you have realized that our farm has flowers and it's really flowering. Still, I believe in your farm still you have noticed heavy flowering in your coffee. It is a very good sign because it means the trees are preparing for a good crop. However, what you do immediately after flowering will determine whether these flowers turn into berries or drop off. So we shall be looking at the key management practices to do when coffee is flowering heavily. You should ensure adequate soil moisture. So coffee flowers need sufficient moisture for proper fruit setting. If the soil becomes too dry, many flowers will do what? Will abort and fall off. It's good to maintain mulch or mulch around the coffee tree to conserve soil moisture. Also avoid disturbing the soil too much during this period. The other thing that you're supposed to do is avoid spraying strong chemicals, especially at this age. You can see it's heavily flowering. So do not spray harsh pesticides or maybe foliar fertilizers directly on these flowers. Don't do that. If spraying is necessary, you should use very mild recommended products and spray carefully. It's good to spray carefully. Also, the other thing that you're supposed to do is to control pests early while the flowers are forming. Scout for pests like maybe the thrips, maybe the coffee berry borers. So early detection prevents damage to the developing berries. So you should also do regular farm scouting in the farm. Also, during this flowering stage, you are supposed to maintain weed control. I realized in my farm it's a bit weedy, so I'll make sure that at least I have uprooted all the weeds in the farm. So maintaining weed control. Weeds really compete with coffee for water and also for what? Nutrients. So it's good to keep the farm clean through thrashing or maybe mulching. And it's also good to avoid deep cultivation, which may damage the roots of the coffee. So another thing that you're supposed to do is support the plant nutritionally, whereby after flowering and once berries begin to set, it's good to prepare to apply foliar feeds or maybe nutrients like boron or zinc, which support fruit setting and also berry development. It's good also to do what? Take care or maybe protect pollinators. Coffee flowers depend partly on the bees and also other pollinators. So it's good to avoid spraying chemicals during the day when bees are active. So ensure that at least you have taken care of your farm so that it can give you the best. So heavy flowering means potential for heavy harvesting, but only if you as a farmer will be able to manage the crop well. So when your coffee flowers heavily, celebrate fast. But remember that flowers are not berries yet. So proper moisture retention and also careful spraying and good farm management will determine how many of these flowers become coffee cherries. So it's good to keep on also observing your farm and having a close monitoring, because at the end of the day, we are here to create wealth and also come up with the best yields in the farm. Now, when coffee is flowering, it's very sensitive stage, and many farmers unknowingly make mistakes that cause flower drop and also lower berry formation. So we shall also look at the common mistakes that farmers make when coffee is flowering. So one of the things that many farmers do when the coffee is flowering is that they spray strong chemicals on the flowers, whereby pesticides or foliar fertilizers are sprayed on the flowers. This will burn the delicate flowers and it will interfere with the pollination, which causes massive what? Flower drop. So it's good to avoid spraying during heavy flowering unless it is absolutely necessary. So another mistake most farmers do is that they do poor moisture management, whereby coffee flowers require adequate soil moisture for successful fruit setting. Therefore, the mistake that one does is leaving the soil dry without mulch. Therefore, it will result the flowers dry up and fall before forming berries. So what should you do is maintain good mulching to conserve soil moisture. Another mistake that most of the farmers do during flowering is they ignore farm scouting. So some farmers only visit their farms during harvesting. That's a very big mistake. So no checking for pests like thrips that attack flowers. So what will happen is that flowers get damaged and berry formation reduces. Always scout the farm regularly, especially during the flowering. Another thing is that it allows weeds to overgrow. Maybe once you allow weeds to overgrow, that's a mistake. weeds really compete with coffee for water and nutrients. So the mistake that you do is that you allow weeds to grow heavily during the flowering. This results to coffee plants become stressed, leading to flower drop. So it's good to maintain proper weed control through slashing or also mulching. So also another mistake is disturbing the soil too much. And some farmers dig or cultivate deeply around coffee trees during flowering. This results to roots get disturbed and also plants become stressed and flowers drop. So it's good to avoid deep cultivation during this stage. Another thing is that there is lack of nutrient support for the farmers. They don't do nutrient support. Coffee trees that lack key nutrients like boron and zinc may produce flowers and fail to do what? To develop into berries. So what should you do? Apply the right nutrients at the correct time to support fruit set. So many farmers celebrate when coffee flowers appear, but they forget that this is the most delicate stage of crop. A small mistake during flowering can mean a big loss during harvesting. So good farmers, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, share with a fellow farmer, and subscribe to the channel as we continue making coffee growing real and profitable. Adios.